1, 2, 3, play. Hello, this is Scratch. That's Dennis. Say hi, Dennis.
Hello.
And this is Hidden Community Cup 5 Jean Bureau bracket. Group stage between LotsWaifu, who is also known as Adult Commentary, and POWMATT. We've got LotsWaifu in blue as the Bulgarians and POWMATT in red as the Romans on probably one of my favorite maps to watch, Bypass. Now, these are two more infantry-focused civs. We've seen a lot of that in the very short period of time that we've been covering this tournament. What do you think about that, Dennis?
I don't remember too much about. I mean, in terms of the civ matchup here, Bulgarians, Romans get the extra armor. So if they purely go for even numbers, fighting with blacksmith upgrades, the Romans should be better. But
I would agree with that.
But if you go to Castle Age and if you pressure with Craypost, maybe it would work. Do Romans get redemption? I'm not sure.
I can check real quick. For Civ drafts, we have POWMATT with Romans, Ethiopians, Huns, and Magyars. And for adult commentary, we have Bulgarians, Poles, Slavs, and Vietnamese. What was I looking up? Redemption?
Yeah, but does Romans get redemption?
Yes, they do.
They do? Okay.
Redemption, devotion, herbal medicine.
So. Interesting.
Yeah. God, I'm thinking of scorpions and monks would be kind of neat. Okay, so that's definitely auto scout, right? For red, for POWMATT.
Yeah,
it might be auto scout.
Yeah, that's fine. If you're not planning to push deer, auto scout is fine for this map. I think LotsWaifu actually learned some kind of build order.
Yeah, that was a really clean boar pull, actually.
Yeah.
Got some idle time.
3 on wood, all on food now.
Got some idle time for POWMATT while we're doing that boar pull, which is fine. That was a pretty good boar pull for them, too. They took 1 hit. So.
Yep.
Now, I don't like the corner lumber camp. I think maybe that's just because a lot of my games tend to go long. I don't like the lumber camp bleeding into the middle like that. Do we know if we can put a crepost in the middle? We know we can do towers. Could we do a crepost?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's there's enough space for a crepost, but
isn't crepost 2x2? Isn't it 2x2?
Maybe. Not sure.
Well, maybe we'll see.
I think it's 3x3, but I'm not sure. How big is the market? Is the market 3x3? That's 4x4 or something, right?
Market's huge.
Market's huge. Yeah. I think Craypost is at least
like
3x3.
A market, I think, is the same size as a castle, and a crepost is smaller than a castle.
Yeah, Craypost is at least 3x3, I think. But I don't know. We might find out. But Bulgarians do get a lot of bonuses. They do have redemption. They have good. Decent siege options. Romans are also good. So I don't know.
So far, these starts seem pretty identical. Although I am noticing that red is only just now building their mill, so maybe they're a little behind, or just on a slightly different order.
I mean, if they...
I agree. I think LotsWaifu is definitely following some kind of build.
Right now, POWMATT is taking the boar, right? And that's probably better. So the delayed mill is not a problem as long as you have the mill before you want to click up. It can get crowded under the TC, which is kind of why you'll move things around. And it looks like POWMATT's just going to move things around this way.
POWMATT's going up to feudal age at 18 pop.
Yeah,
17
but there were 2-minute idle time, so this would be kind of, I think,
So
25 seconds for a villager, right? So
yeah.
that's about 4 villagers. This is like 21 pop-up timing.
So I will say there are 8 lumberjacks on LotsWaifu's side, and I'm not familiar with a build order that does that.
Might just be let's get the food
Good.
required to go Castle Age. I don't think there's that much thought about when putting the villagers to wood. But yeah, definitely putting these many on wood before clicking up to feudal is odd.
We're getting farms early. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean now the woodcutters at least kind of make sense, right? Because you need a lot of wood if you are making Dark Age farms. I mean, you still can make a lot more farms if you're going for it, but yeah.
Eco upgrades for POWMATT. Good to see immediately as soon as they got up.
Yeah, I think it looks better for POWMATT now with the eco upgrades, and in Feudal Age, the farms are going to be a lot more efficient, and you can also go for some kind of aggression if you wanted to.
Got a barracks coming up for POWMATT, and they're already on gold, so maybe some Dark Age aggression.
I mean, there's a barrack coming up for LotsWaifu too, so...
Sorry,
Where's the barracks for...
yeah. I misspoke there. I got them mixed up.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a cleaner start for POWMATT.
So, if I was playing Bulgarians against Romans, do I want to play infantry and let Romans play into their better unit?
I feel like, you know, this is the spirit of the law question, I think, but I feel like Romans have to have the better infantry overall, right?
Yeah, the armor is
bonus?
huge. Yeah,
that's insane.
So, I mean, there is no blacksmith so far. So, I mean, but long term, just one blacksmith upgrade is gonna be a huge difference between them.
Yeah, we got 4 militia coming in.
But timing is important. So right now, there's no blacksmith, and the blacksmith is coming up as I say that. But there's no barracks. So man-at-arms, 4 of them, are going to be mostly through the center. I would guess that it's through the center.
So LotsWaifu, I'm pretty sure we saw do the Bulgarian man-at-arms spam last game. This game, not as clean. I definitely think moving that many to lumberjacks was a mistake.
Did you confuse LotsWaifu with Skid Vibe?
No, I think we saw it from both.
Okay, yeah.
I believe, because I
remember it was like Carabest versus adult commentary, right, in the last game, and Carabest was doing this, I thought.
That sounds right. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's
but my point is, this could have been a lot cleaner. I think moving that many to wood and doing farms was incorrect. I would focus on your sheep and your boar and your berries, and I think you could transition into this 4 militia as you're getting into feudal age much more cleanly. And I think it bypasses that really good.
How many is adult commentary thinking about? There's 7 right now. And
should we change LotsWaifu's name to adult commentary in the stream? I haven't done it yet because doing so would pause the game. But I don't.
I'm gonna keep it as is.
Okay.
We can refer to the player as LotsWaifu if the viewers find it confusing.
So we've got a market for both.
Even getting the armor for it.
Yeah, but if you're getting armor, I'd rather see them, moving, right? Having 7 armored man-at-arms just standing around is not the best.
I mean, the timing, right? Right now, there's castle age coming up for Romans, and the barracks is coming up. So
I feel like if
the window
this is the strategy,
could be
yeah, the
closing.
window's closing.
Yeah, because scorpions with Romans could also help.
Well, especially because scorpions can fire through walls, right?
Yep.
Like if he's gonna charge the middle, which he is now.
I mean, assuming there's going to be a siege workshop being dropped, assuming there's time. There's a lot of things that can be done. Stonewalling behind to buy POWMATT some time works, but right now it seems like a scouting with man-at-arms. And
But it looks
stable
to me,
from... Ooh, double stable. Oh, double stable knights is going to be good.
I think he's gonna try and balance some kind of double stable and booming, maybe. I don't really see the benefit for moving this many villagers to the flank to build a lumber camp. I feel like they're definitely going to be putting down a town center eventually. This is definitely a bit of an awkward play. I like moving the villagers out, even if it is to drop a TC. I'm not sure what the lumber camp is doing right now. I would say TC into night spam would be pretty good here, but maybe.
Auto scout does make the scouting map look amazing. The whole map is almost scouted.
Yeah. Hey, it's a utility, man. Right?
Yeah, the second TC that's so far out. I think this is the second time we've seen a player do this. But
do these villagers not have loom? I don't think so.
25 HP, yeah, they don't have loom.
Now, I like the second TC on the flank. I actually really like that. I think that getting that early is good, especially on this map. But I feel like the lumber camp is 100 wasted wood. Not, you know, it's not a huge deal, but it just kind of awkward.
I think Romans is thinking about some kind of castle drop with a push. I don't know where the castle's going to be dropped. Maybe the villagers will move forward.
Romans or Bulgarians?
Romans is POWMATT, and there's a TC on the stone. So there's 7 on stone for POWMATT.
Oh, there is now. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, you're right. Bulgarians already has so much stone collected. So yeah.
I definitely like POWMATT's position here better. They feel a little more solid, but then they are in Castle Age. So.
But yeah, I mean, if you build 2 stables instead of more TCs, and then you don't really use the stables, that seems like a waste, especially in the early game. In late game, you might be floating wood, but in early game, everything kind of adds up. But monastery comes up, so relics or...
Now, when I said my statement that I prefer POWMATT's position, that was under the pretense that they were going to continue building villagers. I agree with Dennis. Personally, I think I would go 3 TCs, 1 stable.
Ooh.
But like this is not enough gold income.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but there's a siege tower coming up for LotsWaifu.
Oh, he's doing it. LotsWaifu is cooking.
Also getting the Gambesons for, I guess, diving under the TCs. So just gonna... How many can you garrison? There's 10 units that you can garrison in 1 siege tower. He has 10 right now, and 4 more in the queue. I would like +2 4. As well, 1 more armor, so that...
Do you think... Well, I'm willing to bet some villagers are going to come with them to build a castle. Now, if I remember correctly, did we see this strategy already?
It just seems... I mean, Painter did something like this.
That's right. Painter did this last tournament.
Oh, he's not really hopping through the center. He's hopping through the sides. The way around. Okay.
That's actually really... I really dig that.
I mean, it works because the siege tower seems to work faster. Yeah.
It's so fast. It's so stupid. This is such a dumb unit. And he already knows about the forward position for POWMATT, so he knows to go around. This is really good. Again, could be cleaner, but no mistakes that I could see. Just maybe a few inefficiencies.
I like the strategy. It seems like this was the plan coming into the game, and going for it.
Monk.
The
He
monk.
stopped the siege tower to double check. Big fan of that.
And
Can
the
this
monk's
monk
gonna
see?
die.
Monk can't see anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Monk's dead. Now that could just be the scout. That could just be getting lucky. So POWMATT's probably not the wiser, but he is going to send knights in.
So far, no reaction from...
Do you retreat with the siege tower, or do you hide it in the corner?
So POWMATT sees the scout coming through, sending the knights and another monk through. And we'll see the sheep being stolen.
The jig is up.
And now you see the tower, and the knights are going for...
It's too late.
Just want to... Okay.
There you go. We're in.
Alright, cool. Now you just fight the knights, because I don't...
you gotta kill the knights.
Oh, knights actually have more armor. I mean...
yeah, but I feel like...
But I still think you fight it to try to kill them, but I don't know to what extent they'll be successful.
I mean, the micro's working. I feel like POWMATT is going to successfully defend this. Pulled him off gold, though, and he's about to kill this monk.
Yeah. And POWMATT also has a lot of relics. I mean, in early game, picking 2 relics so quickly, that's very useful.
Knights are dealt with. We've still got 7 long swordsmen. This is not done yet.
I mean, there's 6 knights who are going to be made, but the good thing for LotsWaifu is all the action is in POWMATT's base.
Yeah.
You don't want to take out the monastery. I think you just take out the knights and disrupt the eco. You don't want to look for villager kills. Right now, POWMATT is completely idle to TC because of this pressure. I would probably just keep the army alive next time you try this to just disrupt the eco, keep the gold from being taken, and now red can focus and try to push.
How do you feel about if they had pulled back the siege tower to avoid notice and then waited for red to attack them before dropping those onto their farms?
I mean, it's hard to tell.
I know
right?
that's a lot at this elo. Like, that's a lot.
I mean, not just elo, right? I mean, we are talking about this because we are watching everything. But the knights have +2 attack and defense for POWMATT. So later, maybe there wouldn't have been any value. Maybe the knights would have just wrecked them.
Gone.
No reaction, no walling behind, so yeah, this is...
That's gonna be rough.
Oh, but just attacking the barracks now. But now you can actually drop a castle inside the base, right? Because the knights can control the space in front of the TC.
Yeah, both can actually.
Yeah, but the knights would stop the castle drop from blue.
True. Oh, you could do some interesting walling shenanigans with the lumber camp. I don't think that's likely.
No reaction from blue.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, ring the bell.
Yeah, I guess that works. I mean, the bell, the negative is everyone comes to the TC, right?
Correct.
You only wanted to garrison the villagers next to the TC, but because you could rang the bell, your entire eco is idle.
And now they're just standing there. Okay, this is definitely a desperate castle, but I get it. LotsWaifu, in the future, I love the siege tower play. I also like the Kreptos that you're building on the north end. That's pretty great. But that being said, I love the siege tower play. However, the second you see those knights, you need to go back home and build a few spearmen and upgrade them. You need to do that the moment those longswordsmen get into combat. Let them die. Let them fight. Don't watch them. Go back to your barracks. Build some spearmen because you know this is coming. That is the benefit of those mobile cavalry units, is that as soon as they're done fighting, they can immediately respond. And that way you would have a much higher villager count, and you would be able to respond more adequately to this attack. It's difficult to learn when to ignore your military, but probably one of the most important lessons I've learned playing this game is don't watch your guys fight unless you absolutely have to. Would you agree with that assessment?
I mean, the only thing that I'll say about what just happened right now is you want to defend using walls or some kind of defense before you go for counterattack, right? I mean, counterattack is always good, so kudos to LotsWaifu to go for a forward tray post and to try this. But you kind of need to, like, it's like a threat level, right? If your opponent is killing 20-30 villagers and you're able to kill 5, your opponent is still getting the better deal. So
yeah, and there's nothing preventing these knights from just staying here, which they look like they plan to.
Yeah,
I will say POWMATT's got his foot on the gas, and this is really good to see.
Yeah, there's no army at home, there's no barrack production at home, so those knights are just gonna stay alive until the TC shoots them down, which is gonna take a while.
Yes.
Are they even targeted?
Well, because LotsWaifu had stopped making villagers, their economy isn't strong enough to rebuild spearmen.
LotsWaifu, about Conics. Conics actually get stable armor when they are mounted, and infantry armor when they fall down and get back up again. So it's worth getting stable upgrades, the armor upgrades especially, to get the best deal out of the Conics. But POWMATT has more villagers. I mean, a lot more villagers actually. Right now, LotsWaifu just has 3, and I think this is essentially GG.
So, this was a good game. I like the idea, LotsWaifu. We can definitely make it a little more efficient. And again, I think that the fight with the longswordsman,
I really liked what LotsWaifu did this game actually, with both the counterattack idea with the Crapers to go around, the siege tower with the infantry kind of disrupting POWMATT. It was just small mistakes, didn't really respond to the knights attacking the gates, didn't really wall behind, didn't really make army in response to that to defend against the knights pushing through the center. And that cost LotsWaifu pretty much the game.
I would say a series of small mistakes, nothing major. I will. Okay, one major thing, and this applies to both players. Keep making villagers. Don't stop.
And
at all times, keep making villagers.
And for POWMATT, very well done. Got all the knight upgrades. Knights do very well against the Mad Tom's play. So because there were no halbs out, no pikemen out in mass, even if there were few pikemen, I think the knights would take them out because they were fully upgraded +2 defense and attack with bloodlines. So yeah, this was very well played. And on to game 2.
I think, like I said, the minor inefficiencies with LotsWaifu. I think that conflict at the north initially, again, we're casters, we saw it coming. I think that perhaps once you see those knights show up, I think you retreat, maybe. Because I know the siege tower is fast. I don't think it's going to outrun a knight, but it could potentially get away. But as soon as that fight happens, go back home, build spearmen. As soon as you see that your opponent's on knights, you need defense at home. Because the moment that fight is over, they're going to counterattack. But that being said, Dennis is correct. The initial idea, great. Even the counterattack, good, but could be made better by having defenses at home. And both strategies of both players could be improved purely by cranking out villagers. I think that's it. All right, we're gonna pause, and I'm gonna shut my dogs up, and we're gonna go to game 2. Let me give POWMATT the dot. 1, 2, 3, play. All right, we're back for game 2 between LotsWaifu and POWMATT. We've got Slavs and Ethiopians. Slavs for blue for LotsWaifu, and POWMATT in red with Ethiopians. And all I know about the Slavs is I think they're infantry and siege focused. And they have a really good economy.
Slavs have really good farms. They also, and because of that, they can go for knights. They can go for siege because they have a lot of siege bonuses to work with. They get free supplies if they want to go infantry. So they get cheap man-at-arms and so on. Because if you go for them in mass, supplies is free. You'll save. I mean, mostly you'll save time in researching supplies once you're in feudal.
All I know about the Ethiopians is that I beat Dennis with them in our second ever game, I think.
Yeah, I remember beating Scratch with Koreans on Haboob against Ethiopians.
That's true.
Anyway, so over here, I mean, it looks like this is LotsWaifu's home map in the last set as well. So it seems like try again, and the build order, the unique build order that LotsWaifu follows with the row of 4 houses, is also been carried on for the second game in the tournament.
Yeah. So has several seconds of idle time at the very beginning. I don't know if perhaps not quite ready. That's okay, but you're in a tournament, so try and tighten that up. And also, actually, this goes to both players because I think POWMATT is guilty of this as well. Villagers are more important than houses. The very first thing you should do is tell your TC to start building villagers. Those few precious seconds could give you an advantage. Not much of one, but it could. Got it. Some scouting. Now, that is definitely not auto scout, I would say, for POWMATT. Might be for LotsWaifu. Nothing wrong with auto scout. It is a function of the game. Use it, but definitely could be habit forming. I guess is it's kind of similar to ringing the bell. It's a thing that's totally fine. But you do eventually want to move away from it.
No, this is I mean, when I was in the silo, I was doing this as well. I don't think it's that big a deal. But two cows being stolen. But not really been taken away, so yeah.
That gave me flashbacks.
So, LotsWaifu's chopping through almost. The lumber camp has only 1 villager for POWMATT, but
she's got a friend coming.
Yeah, coming through.
She's in red.
It just means that cutting through the center might take a little bit more time, whereas LotsWaifu is going to be through a lot quicker. And there's a lot of hunt in the center of the map.
We got 13 villagers on 1 board. Good. Well done. A mill coming up for blue. Not yet for red.
Red about to be housed.
Wait, what time are you at?
6:55.
Okay. I'm like a couple seconds ahead of you.
Alright.
That's okay. I'm at 7:10.
I'm at 7:18. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be fine. Another boar pull for red. A lot of idle time for these villagers. Remember, we want to start shift queuing to make sure we've got people doing stuff after they finish what we're telling them to do. Now, I do not like this map.
Why?
From a playing standpoint.
This is amazing.
This map stresses me out.
Oh no, I love this map. I mean, the only only maps in Hidden Cup that I'm not that fond of is Quarry because the separation. If anyone picks Quarry, we can talk more about it. But essentially, the separation between the two sides with the flimsy one line of trees makes things kind of tricky, and it's also highly defensible in through the center. So I don't know. It's just not been as fun when I played the practice games in Quarry. And yeah, never a fan of island games. But apart from that, I love this map as well. I mean, you have so much hunt in the center. If you get center control, you can do a lot of things, I think.
Now, that took a while for POWMATT to do, but they did get housed, aggressively so, and they did eventually cancel those two villagers that were in the way once they realized they had the resources to get up to feudal age already. So they did do that. It was not clean by any means, but they did put two and two together and realize what they could do, and that was cool to see. This map stresses me out just because there's too many options.
For one thing, for adult commentary is taking gold in Dark Age, unless you're going for army, is just way too early. Right now, you spent 100 wood on the mining camp, and you're spending time on gold, but you need the 500 food to click up to feudal. And feudal, you get a lot of benefits from clicking up to feudal. Your scouts are stronger in feudal age, faster in feudal age, and I think your hit walls, if there were walls, they would also benefit from feudal age. So yeah,
Agreed. Unless you're doing a very specific build, such as like militia or man-at-arms aggression, gold that early in Dark Age, we want to prioritize food. Preferably food from herdables and berries and hunt before anything else, just because that's more wood you have for feudal age. But if you have to do farms, that's fine. Especially as Slavs, you have really good farms. But yeah, I agree with Dennis. Unless you're doing unless you have a reason to get gold, don't get gold.
I mean, we say that, but right now in feudal age, but could be I'm thinking archers probably because it's heavy on golden wood. So POWMATT might just be thinking, let's go heavily on archers, and you still need food to get your upgrades, like fletching. I think it'll be 200 food that you'll need. So you need a farming setup, not as much as you would for scouts, but you'll need some kind of food eco for sure. But for now, the berries is what POWMATT is relying on.
I was a little disappointed with this mill. I got really excited when I saw its position, and then they went to berries rather than hunt right next to them. Hunt is the fastest food that your villagers can get that's not shorefish. So always, if you have the ability to task your villagers on hunt, if it is available and convenient, always go for hunt first if you have the option. Unless you're doing a build that requires a civ who gets benefits from berries, like the Portuguese, I think. Is it the Portuguese that do that?
Yeah, and lots adult commentary or LotsWaifu, the player in blue, is thinking of going to Castle Age now. Didn't really do much with the center access. With so many on wood, I expected we'll just go through and try to either mill the center with lots of bills to collect the food or something along those lines, because we've seen other commentary do that, and players do that for hunt and berries before. So I thought that was something that was going to be the play, but it looks like it's just a lumber camp at the moment.
Now, personally with this map, if I'm going archers, I think I would try and send them through the middle. LotsWaifu does have the side walled, however, it's got a hole in it in two places, actually.
I mean, now even red is through, so the archers from red could come through the center. Ethiopian archers fire faster. There's 8 in the queue, 2 already out on the map. So with fletching, this could be really good for POWMATT. But there is double stable, and double stable knights were if LotsWaifu goes up to castle, because there are resources for it and there is a market to use, and LotsWaifu uses it, but instead of buying food, actually bought wood and spent gold, which was odd.
That is odd. Not sure what's up with that.
Yeah, you'd
Preliminary eco-balancing, maybe? Or perhaps
I think that was just a misclick. I can't see a place where you buy wood here. I mean,
now.
Oh, he's not really thinking of Castle Age.
Okay.
I mean, scouts might do well against archers. But yeah, I don't know. I think knights are much better. Yeah.
Yeah, not against Ethiopian archers. They fire so fast they can micro it down really quick.
And POWMATT is also gotten armor and fletching, so.
One thing I will say, I am a big fan of archer plays. Probably my favorite opening. I don't know if the Ethiopians can afford double archery range this early. I know the Incas can, because I do it all the time. I don't know about the Ethiopians.
No, they can. I mean, clearly he's made 12 of them with fletching and.
True. Yeah, I suppose I'm thinking this within like my time frame, so that's true. Okay, we're transitioning away from the center. I guess that makes sense.
Wow. Okay, this is a lot of investment. I mean, I saw the blacksmith market and I thought it was Castle Age play, but yeah. So
I think
right now this is gonna catch
off with Castle Age play.
Okay, now the archers are through, and how is the micro of the archers? Not that great. So the scouts actually might kill all the archers here.
Yeah, we need to get all of our archers together, and we got to keep running away.
Alright, this is a really good trade. I mean, I was worried about the scouts being made, but now I think they got the value. And the food eco for POWMATT is just not there to click up to castle, so LotsWaifu might still go up to Castle Age faster.
I like the tower on that gold mine. I really like that, actually, especially as a counteraction to seeing the archers throwing up that tower.
Yep.
It's good stuff.
Alright.
Now, I'm still not entirely sure I agree with, getting fast castle and then pivoting before you get it. Clearly it paid off here, but I'm still not certain.
I mean, yeah, going up to castle, using market, and attacking with knights would have probably been better, in my opinion.
I would agree with that.
But only the results matter, right? And he was able to clear the initial ball of archers, and now archers are in defense in the red player's side instead of attacking blue. And now with the tower here, it's gonna be hard to just walk through, and they're not as mobile to walk through from the sides. And once LotsWaifu is in the next stage, there's gonna be knights in the field, and there's no market from POWMATT as well, so
I don't actually know if LotsWaifu actually won that exchange overall, because
I think it was worth it. I mean, it was worth it because I didn't expect even that much value from the scouts.
They did get value, but they killed archers and they kind of ran off to their doom. They killed a few more, but not really that many.
The LotsWaifu killed 13 and lost 7, and killed 2 villagers as well.
They did, but now they've got 15 archers on the field with spearmen to back them up.
Yeah, but there's nowhere near Castle Age.
True.
And I like to see that now that's walled up as well, so it's not like you can just walk through under the tower. You have to.
Is it? I think there's a hole in there. I'm pretty sure there's a hole beside the tower. Oh no, there's a halfway cut down tree I can see. Okay.
Yeah, there's a stump. There's 72 wood in there, so it's worth garrisoning in the tower to kill the archers quickly. But so far, just content with going skirms. I don't know how I feel about that, but I guess it's because of the spearmen that's in front of the archers.
Oh, they still can't get through.
And the knights are being made.
It's definitely a misclick on the palisade wall, clicking the corner, which was blocked by the tree.
Now the pikeman is cleared up. The knights can dive in, and
the
skirms are also here, so this is all amazing. Diving under the tower will reduce HP. I don't think you have the night mask yet. I mean, you'd probably still win, but you don't want to lose your knights because it's good to also counterattack with the remaining knights. And yeah, the tower really helped out a big deal there. And still no market for the red player, trying to stonewall the center, but these are knights, so knights can run through the sides in good time and start pressuring POWMATT's base if LotsWaifu is comfortable doing that. Right now the TC is idle, and
yeah, both players. I don't expect high-end balance skills right now. Even I'm not good at it, but keeping villagers flowing is I would say the most important thing, other than winning, because it allows you to win. When you're about to go into combat, go to your town center, build some villagers, just queue them up. Even if you can't afford them, queue a bunch up, and then when your combat's over, if you need to cancel some, cancel. But keeping those villagers flowing and just having them go to, I don't know, gold or something, it will always pay off.
I like how LotsWaifu sold some wood. I don't know if the thought of tanking the wood prices was part of the play, but that was good.
I don't imagine it being intentional. I will point out to LotsWaifu, when your scout has concluded his scouting, I try and send a scout into the base, even if it's to their death, at the beginning of Feudal Age, at the end of Feudal Age, beginning of Castle Age, at the end of Castle Age, that kind of thing. Just to keep an eye on your opponent. It keeps them honest. It gives you a fraction of information. Can even give your knights an idea of where to hit. More information, especially on a map like this, is always beneficial. We do finally have Castle Age for the red player. We've got heaps of wood.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm concerned about for LotsWaifu is the lack of... I mean, now the villager production has resumed, but yeah, the knights are definitely better than archers, so that's gonna be pretty good for LotsWaifu.
POWMATT has no military, really.
Yeah, because they were all cleaned up, right? So
yeah, they were all cleaned up and they didn't have an economy behind it.
Yep.
I feel like maybe 1 or 2 knights might die, but even that feels optimistic right now.
Yeah, you need your archer mass to be alive, and that's kind of what I don't like to... I mean, that's what I don't like about archers, is it's not mobile, and you also need to always keep the army together, and and if you take bad trades, you can run away as knights. With archers, if you don't really have pikemen in front, you just lose that fight. So it's a lot more difficult playing archers.
I understand why you would say that. I mean, you've watched me play archers and how frantically I will scoop up the newly built archers and control group them into my my big group of archers. And it is a mess. It is.
I mean, it's a
truly
lot. It's a lot
frantic.
more fun, and it's a lot more powerful if you have the army mass. But
Yeah.
you can keep that archer mass from growing if you know that an archer switch is coming.
Now, this is not the original player that I said this to, but I'm not entirely sure I understand the benefit of putting all of your military buildings over here, where they are POWMATT, because they're too far away from where they need to be. A couple over here is fine. It gives you a secondary position. It lets you reinforce this position. It lets you potentially be more aggressive on that flank if you desire to be. But I would, especially after you see knights, consider dropping a barracks at home at this other base, just to help alleviate that. Those pikemen getting out of there nice and quick would have been very beneficial.
And for LotsWaifu, I mean, if you, I think this is the second time we've seen you stop will production after 30 villagers or so. Try to go up to at least 60 as a starting point, and because I think when I've seen players in around 700, 800, that's where they stop will production for some reason at around 60. So I think that would help, and more villagers also help. Okay, maybe adult commentary is just, or the blue player is just...
It's just balance. Both of them are stopping villager production when they are doing combat, which is fine. That's totally normal.
Yep.
But that's why I suggest when you notice that you're going to get into a fight, hit your town center hotkey, hit your villager button 5 or 6 times. Burn all your food so that while you're microing your army, your villagers are continuing to flow.
I really like LotsWaifu's position here, because now with the mangonels, it's harder for the archer player to push the main base, and now the counterattack with the knights, you can be a lot more confident, ignoring the attack with the archers and go forward and kill wills. And already the Deco KD and the KD in general looks brutal from towards... and for LotsWaifu, 60 to 13 kill to death ratio, and 23 villagers killed by LotsWaifu, and didn't really lose a single villager from...
I'm not entirely sure what the barracks are for.
Barracks are
I suppose he did see a... No, he did not see the stable.
Maybe it's just the meat shield in front of the knights.
Mangonels.
Oh yeah, or just defend the mangonels against stable units. But I don't think that... Oh, he actually may have seen the stable in the back.
No, he didn't. I already checked.
Okay.
Now, again, this kind of goes back to what Dennis said. I've said a couple times. POWMATT, we've got 2 town centers and no villagers coming out. The reason you build your second town center is so that you can research in one town center and build villagers in the other town center. That's not the only reason, but that's the benefit of having 2. So
that was a defensive building scratch.
Sure, but it's a defensive building that can produce villagers, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely right. I'm just saying. I think what POWMATT was probably thinking was just to protect that area. I don't think POWMATT was thinking, let's have another town center to rapidly build up my eco. And as we are talking about this, LotsWaifu clicks up to Imp, and
got a castle drop in the center for red.
Castle drop in the center, so there's some goal control that red has. But Imp is faster for LotsWaifu, so if LotsWaifu drops a castle, traps down the other castle, this might actually work out well. But is there a target for LotsWaifu? That's the question, and it looks like the knights might move forward and spot it soon.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I will say this castle is actually beautifully placed. It controls that entire choke point between the holes.
And POWMATT has resources to click up to Imp as well, so maybe
My
this.
point is not necessarily that if you're building a second town center, you should be focusing on the eco build, but you should still keep building consistent villagers. It's not necessarily about booming. It's just about having the economy to fall back on. You'd be amazed at the amount of military you could build once you have the economy behind it.
The Ethiopian
Royal
players
heirs.
thinking about shotels then. Shotels are produced fast, but your opponent is on knights. I don't know if shotels are shotels supposed to be good against archers or melee units.
Well, they're also really good at raiding.
That is true.
Although I would argue knights are better.
I mean, they don't. Ethiopians don't have good knights.
I'm sorry, I meant opponents' knights. I think they would win if it comes to raiding.
Yeah.
I actually really like this castle from LotsWaifu. It's a little conservative. It's a little defensive. I think we could go out forward with it, but it's still a good position. Watches that's not really walled off and controls that gold.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing, if I'm thinking about it, I think, not that LotsWaifu knows this, but I believe mangonels could range that town center from the wood line.
It's the town center has not been spotted so far.
No, they don't know about it yet, but I do believe mangonels could hit that town center from the wood line. Now,
maybe with siege engineering, I'm not sure. I think all the mangonels are going to die as they run into the castle fire.
potentially.
That is my guess.
And this is why scouting is important.
And I say that he is going to send one knight to scout.
Oh, hey, look at that. Well done.
And also pulls back the knight, so the knight is alive.
Oh yeah, very alive. We've got a monk somewhere.
So now you have a target, and you also have the lead and the trebs, and 4 trebs being masked. So
now I like the group of pikemen for red being kind of scattered throughout, but POWMATT is oddly seems to really only able to handle one focus at a time, which is fine. That's kind of normal right now. But we really do need to lean on that economy a little bit more. And as Dennis has said, have a goal. We see stables, we build pikemen. We need to have something to do with our resources. And we need villagers to get those resources.
Ooh, Boyar with +3. That's pretty good.
It's the sexiest unit in the game coming through. I don't know if that's actually true. I just really like Boyar.
Second castle coming up.
I like-
maybe but there's +3, so maybe the knights can dive in.
I actually really like that second castle.
And no, it may not go up actually, because there's 3 mangonels which would stay outside the castle range.
True.
And will they stay outside?
In theory.
Stay outside?
Oh, they're going for the villagers. Yeah, this is denied, I think. But I do like the idea of that second castle. It was not a good idea, but...
Okay, one mangonel goes down, the second one about to go down. And there's...
Oh, wait, what am I saying? Never mind. This castle is not a good idea, because your opponent's already in Imperial Age.
Yep, and has the trebs to take them down. And shotels... There's no infantry armor on the shotels, so... even if the I don't think I think they're behind some trebs as well, right? So yeah.
Yes.
I think the castle's gonna go down before the shotels can be out in the field. And not that it would have changed anything, because Cavalier has also come in. With +3, it's looking really good for LotsWaifu to come back into the set.
Yeah. This looks pretty decisive. A little bit of a kitchen sink kind of game, but it's working. I got no qualms against it.
I don't know about kitchen sink. I really liked how the raids went through for LotsWaifu, and
Well,
yeah,
kitchen sink just means we've got scouts, we've got skirmishers, we got cavalier, we got longswords, we got boyars, we got monks, we got trebuchets. Just a little bit of everything.
yeah.
But I will say that LotsWaifu is doing they're doing not necessarily counter units, but all of these units, while they're not exactly focused, they have been built with some kind of purpose. So I will give them that. Heavy camel. Do we even? Yeah. Okay. We have 4 stables coming up at the back. 3. Sorry. And blue thought that's a great position for a castle.
Heavy camel
But
sounds good until the champions come in, and champions would do well against camels. I think at least.
do they? No, camels counter champ. Oh, champions. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you said champions, not
Yeah,
cavalier.
like camels would do that damage mostly in bonus damage, and they won't even have bloodlines. So, I mean, I think there's enough villagers to keep this open, but I think you need to use the market to not let this go up. Probably take out the stone wall and run in with knights. That's what you gotta be doing. I think he'll just lose the castle.
I would like to know where the other 3
Oh, the mangonel's actually ranging it. Oh, yeah. Mangonel's distracted.
It sees an enemy farm.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, got it back up.
Right.
I would like to see the other 2 mangonels move up.
I really like how LotsWaifu repaired. It's not always... You might forget to see it, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, and I will say this is feeling like a much more competent player on this map than we saw on Bypass. Competent isn't right. That's rude, but what I mean is I'm seeing better decision making in this game than I believe I saw in the last game.
And it's always a good feeling when you force your Ethiopian player to play camels.
Yeah. And boy, are they. We've got 11 coming out. Haha, boy. Good pun. Very proud of that pun.
Unintentional pun from the sound of it.
It was unintentional, but I'm quite proud of it.
Okay.
No, this is a solid performance from LotsWaifu. I think last game there was definitely a plan. This game seems a little more unfocused, but we're wrangling that. We're getting more focused.
I mean, we don't know. Maybe POWMATT can still do it. We don't see any pikemen, and I think the champions might be out of position when the fight happens. And maybe
we've got 13 the scout cavalry to the south.
Yeah, and they will just die to camels.
Well, unless he's waiting to see, you know. Well, I guess that's caster vision because he can't see the camels yet. Yep. But I wonder if he holds the scouts back to come from behind. That'd be really cool.
I mean, there's only one. The armor on the camels also is less. Maybe you can just take the fight straight up.
No reaction so far. There we go.
Okay, one conversion.
That might have just been aggressive stance, actually.
And yeah, the scouts are gonna die to camels. But there is the boyars. Boyars would die to camels, but with +3...
Would 15 boyars die to camels, though?
No, there's 27 camels, though, and it's heavy camels.
Here.
I think it's... Oh, and the mangonels.
These mangonels could be clutch. Oh! Okay, a couple hit.
Okay, I guess it's just a mangonel.
Oh,
so
that's nasty.
Much, but yeah.
That's
and it's
nasty.
also under the castle fire, so... I think even if you lose everything, I think you've chipped away enough damage that...
Hitting the boyar first definitely cost him about 12 camels. That was rough.
Yep. And now you know, you tipped your hand. Now Spearman is being produced by LotsWaifu, and Spearman with Knights or Boyar is gonna pretty much devastate the eco.
Now we do see spearmen out of 2 barracks. I think maybe building some at home wouldn't be the worst idea, because this, again, these walls are not actually walls. They do have openings, and now that you know your opponent has enough stables to mass that many camels, I would be a little concerned about a hole. But I do like that, even though it is a little bit of everything kind of strategy for LotsWaifu, they are going back to their military building every few seconds and building like a new unit. Like we've got some 2-handed swordsmen, we've got some mangonels. I say this, and of course they have nothing queued, but they've been doing that periodically throughout the game, and that's really cool to see. And I'm not sure about battering rams.
About 800 gold is remaining for red, and after that, there's no gold control now. There is gold on the side, but I don't think red knows about it. Yeah.
Yes, they do.
They do know about it. Okay.
But I don't know if they're gonna.
They'll have access to it because they'll lose the center. Yeah.
Well, more importantly, because of the economy that Blue is riding on and the development that they are, the further development of the center position forward of that castle is going to be disgusting. I could easily see them dropping.
Rosina is going to be, I think, they do splash damage or something. Charge on Rosina.
That sounds right.
There's one for the castles being cheaper with wood, but I don't know. That might be something else.
Druzhina is infantry units gain trample damage. Each attack deals 5 damage to secondary targets in a 0.5 tile radius.
Yep, so the pikeman gets stronger, and LotsWaifu is leading into the pikeman too, so...
Yeah.
And Pike Siege?
Alright, now...
I struggle to play Pike Siege. LotsWaifu is doing it, apparently. If LotsWaifu can protect the mangonels and the trebs, I mean, I guess we'll protect the trebs for sure. Probably mangonels too, since it's just the camels.
Now, I will say, LotsWaifu, if you're going to queue up 39 pikemen, let's do it from every single barracks. Those will come out on the field much more quickly. It doesn't matter that some of these barracks are further away from where you want them to be.
No.
You can move them forward.
I like how the forward barracks are the only ones in. You maybe build more barracks forward, but
sure,
yeah.
you can, but you already have 3 at the back. Like it's not that far.
I think you can. I mean, I don't think it's. I mean, I guess it's not that far, but I still think the reinforcements should be coming from the front.
They should be, but they can come from the back. That is what I'm saying. Like, if you're going to build pikemen, definitely build them from the front. But if you're trying to build a ton of pikemen, build them from the back as well.
This is a little excessive, though.
A little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
like I said,
115 pop, and you had a question on how much pop castles give. I guess we're about to find out.
20.
20,
right?
yeah.
Now I actually like this castle.
Waits for the castle to go up and then trip it down.
I like this castle from LotsWaifu, just to reinforce that position further, especially when you know camels are in the way. Yeah, this is a lesson that I think every player learns eventually. If you see trebuchets, don't build castles. They're very powerful buildings, they're very useful, they're very dangerous to build against trebuchets. And there's the GG. Called by POWMATT immediately. I like to see it. Very good. Good game. This was really well done from LotsWaifu. I like the plan from game 1, but this to me felt like a more competent, more responsive player. I don't think the plan was as well formed here, but I think that it was executed better. As to POWMATT, I'm not sure. I think the idea was solid, but I think that unfortunately there were some micro decisions that didn't follow through and resulted in some heavy archer losses. And as Dennis was mentioning, when you lose your massive archers, it can be really hard to come back, especially when that's kind of your whole civs thing. Not the only thing they can do, but what do you got, Dennis?
Yeah, I think POWMATT had a good archer clump. I think you wanted them to stay alive. Maybe you have Ethiopians, you have free pikeman upgrade in Castle in Feudal Age. Maybe have pikemen in front just to tank some damage before moving forward. And as an archer player, especially, I mean, in general, walling also helps. But as an archer player, especially, walling the sides or kind of having some kind of a base that is protected from the raids would have helped. I think the raids with the knights, where you lost like 33 villagers or 20 villagers or something, that could have been avoided or delayed so that you can come up with some kind of response. And I think after you lost your archer clump with the knights, I think it was just hard for you to pick composition. But as Ethiopians, I think you needed to just go back to archers and halberdier. I don't think in this matchup you had anything else. Maybe you could have actually gone to imp and you research chemistry, use the siege. I think siege does splash damage with Ethiopians, so you go pike siege yourself. That is another thing that you could have done. It's hard to manage, but yeah, these are the two options you had for the composition against Slavs. But yeah, I think it was you were up against it once you lost so many villagers. And well played with a slow push from LotsWaifu. You did the best you can, POWMATT, and we're going for a decider this set.
Yeah, I think losing the archers was definitely the kind of the failure point. But I think on top of that, we had a lot of idle time, and I really do. Now that you mentioned the kind of the failure to find the new footing, Dennis and I used to have an old joke that the answer when archers aren't going your way is to always build more archers. That's not actually always true, but it is a lot of the time. I really think that POWMATT didn't benefit at all from the position of their military buildings, and that few seconds of responsiveness when you're under attack can totally change things. Having one or two barracks right there on your home base to intercept those scouts, that could have changed everything. But from both players, a lot of just kind of idle TCs. Again, villagers are the backbone of the game. They're what gets the economy moving, and they're what gets your military functioning. If you don't have villagers, you can't have an army, especially once that army dies. If that army's dead, you can't replace it. So always try and focus on getting some villagers. You don't necessarily have to play a super defensive, boomy game, but you want to keep your town centers functioning. Dennis, while you were doing your speech, I got into the second or the third game. So I am ready when you are, and we can pause and get set up. Recording, and then 1, 2, 3 play. 1, 2, 3 recording, and 1, 2, 3 play. And we're back. So now this is the deciding match. We've got one red, one blue. Between
You're at 15, right?
What? I'm at 21, 22, 23, 24.
Okay, all right. We're okay. Caught up.
Yeah. We're going back. This is game 3 of the match between POWMATT and LotsWaifu. POWMATT in the red as Magyars, and LotsWaifu in the blue as Poles. And Dennis forgot to mention this, and I forgot to mention it. But I noticed when I pulled up my notes just now that both players in their last match were playing as two of their preferred civs that I found in my research on those two.
I'm still thinking where did LotsWaifu pick up this build order from? 4 row houses, 4 houses, and now they go to the lumber camp, I guess. Yeah, look at that. It's crazy.
I want T90 to watch one of these games because every time I watch a low elo legend video, he always comments on the 4 houses thing. So when he notices it, so I'd like to see if he knows. Maybe he knows the secret.
What secret?
The secret behind the 4 houses in a row, because I'm telling you, I've seen it in low elo legend videos.
I mean, I think it's just it looks clean, right? You just line the houses up, or you put them in grids. But yeah, this is interesting.
Neat and clean.
POWMATT with the Magyars and LotsWaifu with poles. So, I mean...
I don't know if I've played poles. I think I have. Maybe one game. I've definitely played Magyars. Big fan of Magyars.
I think everyone would have played... If you wanted to practice a scout build, most people would have played Magyars because they have that deck.
But I will say, the reason I like Magyars is not because of their scout rush. I like Magyars because they are like one of the only civs, I think, that can genuinely do anything. Right? Because they have full scouts, they have full arbalist. I think they have full knights.
They don't get redemption. Their siege is...
Yeah, of course. They definitely have problems.
I mean, I know what you mean. All units are fully upgradable, which is pretty cool.
If you have to tech switch as Magyars, you might be okay.
I mean, I don't know if the infantry line is also completely upgraded, but archers and knights are the only ones I care about, and also scouts to hussar, and we get all those skirms fully upgraded. Cavalry archers fully upgraded, so and yeah, I think they have the best cav archers in the game with recursive bow as well. So yeah,
infantry is not fully upgraded. They're missing the last armor, but they do get champions.
Yeah, but I mean, probably in this bracket, it might be like blasphemy, but. Would you really make infantry with Magyars?
I don't know. Everybody's been doing infantry so far. Maybe it'll work.
I mean,
I do think that if you're building infantry as Magyars, something has clearly gone wrong at some point in that game. But they can do it.
I mean, Halb is infantry, and
they also get onager, which is kind of wild. I never noticed that.
Yeah, I think most civs get onager. I think only Turks that I know of don't get onager.
Really? Huh. Ooh, they get heavy scorpion too? Huh. Okay. Alright, anyway, let's talk about this game. We've got a full work for our blue player. Not in the best position. You're not going to be able to get the coveted 8 farms on that full work.
Why not?
Because isn't it underneath the TC?
Oh no, it's a straggler, a tree that can be chopped down, and you can still place 8 farms there around the full work.
Doesn't part of the full work go under the TC?
No.
It looks like it does to me. Maybe I'm crazy.
Well, I always knew you were crazy, so...
I'm pretty sure it goes under the town center. Guys, I'm going to zoom in here so that you can tell Dennis whether or not this goes under the town center.
I'll also zoom in, and you can see...
Please, leave in the comments which one of us is...
Oh, you clicked on it. You probably clicked on it, didn't you?
What do you mean you clicked on it? Why wouldn't I click on it?
I was visually trying to judge the...
I was visually judging by clicking on it.
I didn't click on it, and then after I click on it, it's like, oh, yeah, it is. It is, actually.
There are 14 villagers working berry bushes.
Visually, I was right. He can actually just place the farms around it. The visual overlay is wrong.
Oh, what? The visual overlay is wrong. What the hell?
Yeah, okay. I was right. Yeah.
Alright.
Always knew I'd be right.
It's Age of Empires that's wrong. We're right.
Anyway, barracks coming up for POWMATT, and there's Magyars. Ooh, there's Scout fight.
Every single villager is working the berry
And
bushes right now.
21. Ooh, very even. Very even. Even.
Yeah.
So they're just letting it fight. Ooh, okay. LotsWaifu won that scout fight.
Oh, I didn't even see the scout fight. I was busy trying to articulate that every single villager in POWMATT's base that's not working lumber is working the berries, and that is because we did not find the 2 sheep at the back. Always got to find your sheep. 4 sheep at the back, actually.
I think once you click up to feudal, you kind of need to have like 6 to 10 villagers on wood. Actually, ideally 10 villagers on wood, because now you don't have the buildings to make your stable and also your farms. So it's gonna be delayed in spite of being faster. And LotsWaifu is walling up after seeing the feudal age.
Which is really good. LotsWaifu is a 421 ELO player at the time of signing up. So this is really good to see.
Okay, going to the corner to get the...
Do we know which corner that is? Okay, we do know that's the stone corner.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious as to going there first over gold, but I guess if you have gold at home, it's fine. Okay. Or well, of course you have gold at home, but you're not working it yet.
Oh, LotsWaifu likes to make 2 stables, and I mean, if a castle goes up and slash of privileges come in, the night spam could be good. Honestly, with for the folwark food drop off, just regular nights could also be pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I was mentally thinking, like, I don't think you need slash up privileges to have double stable knights pay off, but we are seeing LotsWaifu again default to scouts early on, which is fine. Scout rush exists. I do think maybe we're a little overzealous with the scout numbers, because I think traditionally they make 7 or 8, which is fine, but we definitely need more economy to back that up. That's a lot of food that we're investing in. It's going to slow down our castle age. Now, both players are consistently making villagers this game, which I like to see. Let's see what number they'll stop at today. Now, I'm not saying that as Magyars you should wall up, but generally speaking, when you're playing one of the more rushing civs, which admittedly we're not doing a scout rush in this game, you kind of want to wall up. You want to have a defense so that you can get your micro going on. We do have enough for a stable, but we're not seeing it yet. Okay, no, we don't anymore. 22 villagers for LotsWaifu. Yeah, especially if we're building this many scouts, we've got to stay on top of our villagers.
Yeah, I think LotsWaifu did this in the last game, right? Where we said these scouts would be better if you just go up to castle and then make knights. And
yes. I think
this is the second time that I think LotsWaifu is committing to scouts, but red is completely open, so maybe this will again start paying off. I don't know.
Yeah,
the scouts have started to move out, and
yeah, 10 scouts is insane.
11, yeah.
With
there's one low HP, but yeah.
With good micro, four scouts, including your initial one that you start with. 4 scouts.
With the attack upgrade, then yeah.
With an attack upgrade, you can make a lot of stuff happen with 4 scouts, and that way if they die, you're not out a ton. 10 scouts, if they die, that's a lot. I think that's all of Castle Age that you just spent. Now, this is the second time that I'm going to comment on POWMATT's very awkward military building positions. We've got 3 stables? No, 2 stables and a blacksmith here. That scout is extremely dead.
This wood line is kind of...
yeah, this is gonna hurt. And this is working out so far. Okay, we've got some spearmen coming up, but it's going to be a little too late. I think almost all of these villagers are going to get it. Might save, what, 5?
I mean, there are more farmers, okay, there's 7 for farms, so Blue is starting to get that full work eco running. You can drop more from full works, more farms, 50% drop off. I don't know if that was nerfed. It is going to be really good, so yeah,
okay.
I think a lot of wood for LotsWaifu. Either a market to sell the wood and click up, or you come at to scouts and try to get more damage. I think you got like 7 eco kills. That's a dream.
Yes.
I think you just go up to castle and continue the fight from here, but it's something that you'll learn as you keep playing the game.
Yeah, I will say, as a fellow scout rusher, I love a scout rush, even though I tend to prefer archers. I really think 1 stable, more eco, 4 scouts. I think you'd be surprised with just a little micro and a little scouting of your opponent's base you can achieve with those small numbers. I don't mind the 8 scouts, and frankly, LotsWaifu clearly makes it look like it's a strategy they're very comfortable with. However, it is what I would call an overcommitment. I like that scout pick off. That was really good. Just in time to get away from the spearman too. That was really well done. So I would say LotsWaifu clearly has some kind of chops for micro. I think that we need to consider focusing just a little bit more on eco and...
Oh, LotsWaifu is dropping the market, and hopefully this is to sell the wood, buy some food, and click up the castle faster.
I think it's gotta be, right?
I mean, that's what we said last game, and
That's
it
true.
was
Yeah, that's true.
buy wood and make scouts, so...
Okay, now, I don't like this from POWMATT. We've sent the villagers back to the wood line, and it's not being developed yet. If you're going to do that, I think we need to wall this up. And
LotsWaifu is actually checking the other side of the wood line to see if...
I don't think that's what that was. I think that was a mini-map click to retreat.
Okay.
Okay, we've got 9 scouts coming out for our red player, so they thought that they thought blue made this look pretty good, so we'll copy, which is again fine, but I think this is going to be where it's a little bit late.
And LotsWaifu is also walling up, right? So
kind of, yeah.
Kind of. It's still open. Still open. Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say, we're joking. This is actually very easy to close up. Did they wind up using the market, or did they just get to it naturally?
Oh no, they used the market for sure. I don't see how.
There's the wall. Okay. I like the wall up. It's a little awkward for the lumber camp. That needed to go up a little bit quicker. We don't know if those scouts are on their way back. As soon as you send those villagers back, the first thing they need to do is secure that position. If you're going to send them back, I personally would consider going to one of your lumber camps at home. Oh yeah, you already have a lumber. If you already have a lumber camp at home, definitely I would send them there first.
Yeah, poles do get gold from the stone as well, and so forward castle probably is the idea from LotsWaifu now.
Maybe.
And I mean,
scouts are back.
Could be more full works, yeah. Okay.
These scouts will die to these spearmen.
Eventually.
But they are going to get a kill.
Yeah, that's more value than what LotsWaifu probably expected.
Yep.
And yeah, that's done. Now 16 Magyar scouts being queued, but now LotsWaifu is in castle, can make knights, and but it's still open, so some villagers are gonna die, especially because it's full walk eco. There's no TCs to garrison immediately. But knowing LotsWaifu probably will click the town bell and everyone would run towards the...
I would agree with that, which
PC.
means that these 3 villagers on the wrong side of the gold are probably, or 4 villagers on the wrong side of the gold are probably going to die. I do like that the knights are coming forward. They're going to be able to fill in this gap in this hole very quickly, but these villagers are cooked.
No reaction so far. Okay.
A slow reaction. No, I think knights win this, especially with the TC support. Oh yeah, for sure. But we definitely got some value. Not the most amazing counterattack, but we are pulling out, which I like. I like that you were able to acknowledge that that was not the best attack and pull back. Good to see. And we're building more scouts at home. Again, I don't think that's the right play, but it's good that a plan is clearly happening. And we're just gonna sneak past the knights? Okay. Now, POWMATT has enough for castle. Do they have the awareness to click it? Or do we have to wait until we're done micro?
Which minute are you at right now?
29:40?
No, they don't have the resources of castle yet. What are you talking about? It's 5:40.
900 food and 380 gold.
You're talking about castle age, okay.
That's what I said.
Okay. I was thinking...
Am I crazy? Did I not say that?
Making no, I was looking at LotsWaifu's base, so I was thinking you're thinking about castle drop.
No.
Yeah.
Now we see another tower in this
Petrol.
in this gap. I like that. Patrol? Where do you see patrol?
There's just a pikeman patrolling between the barracks and the gold and the stone for POWMATT.
And we are finishing walling, with the exception of that open spot for the tower and the backside with the trees, but the idea is there of filling in the holes in the base. I like it.
Yep.
You definitely want to be a bit faster with that. I would argue once you get up to feudal age, I would say that walling should probably be your 3rd priority. After economy, strategy, walling should come 3rd. But we definitely want to wall up a bit quicker, but the idea is here, and that's good to see. Got some market shenanigans for stone, so I definitely think that castle's incoming. I don't think we necessarily needed to do the market for that castle.
It's probably for the slacher privileges. But yeah, I don't know why that was rushed as fast as it was. But yeah, the food eco does look better for the red player, because I think
9 farms to 12, yeah.
Yeah.
Even with the full works. And a siege workshop to follow up? Okay. I like this castle a lot. It helps defend that open area.
I don't know why the siege workshop is so far behind though, because you're not being pressured. You can actually grab some map control and space by putting siege workshop in front of your castle or behind your castle if you're really worried about your siege workshop being pushed.
I think that's accurate.
Yeah, I think that's far. Siege units are far too slow, and putting it in the back makes everything clunky. I mean, just the mangonel finding its way forward through the houses, under the TC, through the castle is going to be a pain to watch.
The straggler tree, the tower, the gold, all of it's going to get in the way of that mangonel. Yeah, no, agreed. I think personally, you butt the siege workshop up against the southern forest south of the castle, beside the stone. I think that's where you put it. Maybe a little out of range of the castle, but
okay. Red is trying to boom up. Now.
This wall-up situation with blue is a little awkward now because it took us a very long time to get it. So we kind of developed without walls, and now we're trying to fill walls in the gap, and that can make this a little awkward, particularly with this gold mine. and now that villager is trapped.
Oh, I mean, it's not too bad because you're just deleting 2 palisade walls. But
True, but we're deleting 2 palisade walls that you deleted 2 palisade walls to build these palisade walls for. So.
Oh, there's been instances where I had to delete a barracks to get the villager out.
Oh.
So this is better than that.
Now we got some O-books coming, which I'm a big fan of. I love this unit.
Yeah, O-books, and I don't know if O-books because LotsWaifu expects halbs from the opponent, but this is a good composition actually.
I think we saw O-books into battering ram in our last game with LotsWaifu.
Alright, and Slasher Privileges is coming in, so the knights would be cheaper on gold.
And we forgot to comment on this, but both players are getting eco upgrades and blacksmith upgrades to some extent. That's really cool. I'd like to see Slasher Privileges plus the 2nd armor upgrade for these knights. Now,
Yeah.
where do you send this battering ram, though? Do you go to the side? I think you go to the side, right?
I guess we're about to find out. So from the next round, LotsWaifu, I want to see at least 60 villagers in the game by minute 30.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm okay with that. I like that. And I would say that for both players. Let's aim for 60 villagers by minute 30. Because I think you would both be truly shocked at how reliable that is for an economy. For building whatever military it is you want to build. I love this with the O-books popping out to deal with the pikemen. And deal with them handedly. God, O-books. Feast. The O-book is a cool unit. Is that a unique sound effect? Are they the only unit that has that? That sounds right.
I think so. It sounds different.
Yeah. Good. I like the conversion. Yeah, good stuff. I like to see that, POWMATT. That's good stuff. I'd even double down and drop out a 2nd monk. Now, but again, this is kind of what I've been bullying POWMATT for this whole set, is where does our military come from? It's got to come from way over here on the side. This is why I'm not really okay with this much military presence for our secondary base. It leaves this primary base completely undefended. Once this monastery is down, what's going to defend it over here?
And
right?
You're streaming in the knights 1 by 1, so they're gonna not take the trades effectively.
We're splitting up our focus naturally. We're kind of doing our opponent's job for them.
Yeah.
By doing this.
What you essentially want to do is let the knights do whatever damage they want to, and you just mass the knights until you have the numbers to engage the army. Because now you're just fighting 2 against 4 or 1 against 3,
and I would also argue, if you see that your opponent has knights, which I believe we saw earlier, you should be putting a barracks at both locations already. Like as soon as you see that. Because spearmen against cavalry, it's such a powerful exchange. Spearmen can fight knights off. They need some help usually, but they can do it. I'm not sure about this siege workshop, to be honest. Okay. In POWMATT's defense, he cannot see the knights right there.
Oh, I was not really blaming. I'm just looking at the cues to see what every player is looking at. The walls, the palisade walls are still not down. Not that the palisade walls would actually keep the opponent out, but it's just interesting that probably LotsWaifu didn't really see the base for some time because the lumber camp is also needs to be refreshed. LotsWaifu never actually went to the sides to get wood, so there's going to be a time when LotsWaifu needs to move out to get the wood required to keep the farms reseeding.
Actually, yeah, they don't even know which side has which resource. That's wild. Now, you do say that. However, I've seen plenty of player focus purely on the center and slopes, and sometimes to very strong effect.
Oh yeah. Actually, you're right. There's trees in the center, so probably just expand towards the center. That's the natural progression. Yeah.
I think you drop another castle in between those two forests, and there you go. You've got 2 stone and 2 gold. Now, this is still a lot of ups and downs for both players. And again, I firmly agree with Dennis. I want to see 60 villagers, because if you can keep your economy flowing, you'll notice just how much more smoothly it plays. And it's hard. It's really hard to do it. I'm not good at it myself. But, like, you definitely want to... I'm going to see if I can... Dennis mentioned this in another video. I can't remember if it was you guys, but... build villagers. Issue... No, I can't remember the cycle. Do you remember it, Dennis?
I mean, in general, just do an eco action, do a military action, and get your eco upgrades, military upgrades, and keep cycling through. And
it was a military action, eco action, reinforce military, build more villagers. Just kind of in a cycle, one after the other. And it's not necessarily to do it 1, 2, 3, 4. It's more so, have you completed a military action? Cool. Let's check back on our eco. Okay.
Okay.
And no GG that I saw from POWMATT.
I mean, that to be fair, they probably resigned and then called the GG. But yeah, this is very well played.
I personally always assume that, because I know Capture Age in particular can be really bad about seeing that.
Also, I usually call the GG
in chat.
I don't know. Sometimes I resign before, sometimes I resign after, so I don't really think too much about the chat logs.
Some people take it very seriously. This was really decisively played from LotsWaifu. Really, really well done. Again, some questionable decisions. The slow wall up. We did have... Well, no, we didn't. We almost got fully walled. The Siege Workshop was awkward, but not necessarily a factor. Again, some of the decision making was a bit slower, but it was clearly thought out, which I appreciate. There was a plan here, and I like it. This was really well done for POWMATT. I said this in the last game. I really think that the longer you continue to kind of separate your bases like this, where you have military on one side but not on the other side, it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a really hard struggle. But I agree with Dennis. I think both players, 60 villagers, let's see it. I'm confident that you will notice some new aspects of what you're capable of by doing that. What do you got, Dennis? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, LotsWaifu, congratulations on the first set win in the tournament, and POWMATT, I believe you played against Darren. I don't know the result off the top of my head, but yeah, anyway, in this set, you played well, and yeah, just try to take whatever positives you can from the game and try to apply it, and yeah, all the best on the next round.
POWMATT, I agree with Dennis. I think that there's definitely some takeaways from this game, and I hope that we're able to help out with some commentary. But I lost the set, but you're definitely not out. Really strong player. I think we can see a lot of improvement. But that's the gauntlet. 60 villagers, next set from both players. Let's see it. If Dennis doesn't have anything else, I think that's all we got. Dennis, do you want to close this out? Or will you let
Sure.
me? It's up to you.
Thank you for watching, and see you again next time.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.